Story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, that was the intro. What's up, guys? I'm the Corsair, and welcome to The Stanley Parable. This was recommended to me by someone on Twitter and suggested that I played it, so we're gonna play it. And as far as I know, this is basically it's very similar to the movie Stranger Than Fiction, which I just watched. So it should be pretty funny. It just reminds me so much of Hitchhiker's Guide Through the Galaxy, which I love that movie. Hey, 428. Come on. No.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Hold on, I want to read these coffee mugs. I like work just like my boss. Oh, it's not as funny. File, okay. As far as I know, the decisions you make are, like, they change the outcome of the game, so we might have a few different endings to do. So that's fun. Okay. Office 420 over there. That's creepy. I don't like offices very much. I really don't like the woods.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Good call.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good. Drink it in, Stanley.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
That one?
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
Hey.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, I better start following a little bit of his directions, because he seems to not like me. I assume he can murder me somehow. Key card. Let's jump.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Scared me.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
Narrating my
time.
life.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh. Mrs. Stanley.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
This sounds so creepy. I feel like I made the wrong choices. Whoa!
That's her, Stan.
Oh, I should have let him finish talking.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Unanswered
Hold
phones
on,
bother
sweetie.
me.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa! What?
Gotcha.
That makes me trust
come
you.
on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
What a
I'm trying to
douche.
get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on
I don't
here.
want to come inside. I'm going down the hall.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Son of a bitch. I'm just gonna wait. See what he does. Can I go in these apartments? Of course, she lives in apartment 427. Fuck. He's sexy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I think I may have fucked up.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing
I'll
exactly
wind
what
up in
he's
my
told to
office.
do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back
Crap.
to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his
Fucking
mind,
cat.
in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic
like
discoveries
this.
of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would
my
ever
God,
happen
really?
to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Oh,
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
am I
The
imagining
thought
this?
excited him terribly.
That's what it seems like. Spend time
So
with the boys.
he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
This is so weird.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free.
Okay, I wish it
Surely
was
there's
just
an
me.
answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Oh,
How could there possibly
balls.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
He's insane.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. but he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. I don't know what the right answer is. It's pretty obvious this guy's just fucking with me. I'm a sprinkler. Damn it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can
I
I
didn't
tell
want
him
to
in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
No.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
Maybe you don't have a choice.
And I tried again.
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh. What? Did I die? Did I like... Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I totally screwed that first bit up,
Stanley
so...
decided to go to the meeting room.
That's what happens
Perhaps
when you
he'd simply
disobey
missed a
orders
memo.
in this game, apparently. You die. Okay, let's go in the left door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
And his
doors,
left.
he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
God, this is such a boring looking place. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yay! Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts and slides. Wow. This is so accurate for, like...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. Seems like there's something there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'll listen for this one, I guess. Whoa. Nice office. Nice bathroom. Nobody.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley
weird.
wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Hey.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
I want in.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, I couldn't know this, so... I can't do it?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I can't even open it.
Two, 845.
I typed it! Oh my gosh, really? Oh, this one? Pfft, idiot.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
so good.
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Amazing.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
This doesn't look good. This looks like not the Walking Dead. The Left 4 Dead. Jeez. The roof of the hospital. Big roof button. Last time I was in an elevator, it didn't go so well. So, a little nervous about that. Elevators. Ladders and fences, they're all together.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Cool. Cool story, bro. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'll do what he says. Damn it.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Is there another option? Looks like I'm gonna be doing what I'm told for this playthrough.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the
numbers,
number
Mason.
of an employee in the building.
What do they
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
You know what I might do is just kind of escape.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Seems like it.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept his own life in someone else's control. Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm hearing voices, so...
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for
Click
all.
4. Where's the rest of them? Okay. 2. 1. Okay. I'm guessing there's some sort of sequence that I need. But let's check out what's going on here. I don't like the doors. Okay. Awaiting input. Time to die. Mind control.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place.
I like to interrupt this guy. Where am I?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
This is creepy.
Was it over?
No.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Wow, that's pretty.
Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Clearly I fucked up, because Stanley's happy. I beat the game. I don't know what the... Well, that was Stanley Parable. I'll be doing another playthrough, because that all went way too fast. I'll be playing through again, kind of... My next playthrough I'll disobey a lot more and explore a lot more, so... Expect to see that probably this week, maybe even tomorrow. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like or comment. Tell me what you thought and help me put the Uber and YouTuber. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can like me on Facebook. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!